Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and here we have the new Quiet Carry Drift LC and LC200N Steel. And here in just a moment, we are going to pull up the Quiet Carry 9 and we will be comparing them. So stay tuned for that here in just a moment. But first, let's take a look around the new Quiet Carry Drift. I absolutely love it. I don't think Quiet Carry at this point can miss. Now, if you're watching right now, Quiet Carry, please, 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 please make a XL version, not XL, a large version of the Quiet Carry waypoint on bearings, please. And if you guys would love to see that, let me know down in the comments, because I know I'd love it so much to have a full-size version of this on bearings. Woo! It'd be so amazing. Anyways, back to this one. LC200N Steel. Love LC200N. It's got the same corrosion resistance as Vanax, but it doesn't have as much edge retention. So Vanax is going to outperform it as far as edge retention goes, but LC200N is no slouch. It's the same steel they use in Spyderco Salt series because of its corrosion resistance. So you're basically going to never really have to worry about corrosion. And you know, it is a steel that takes a really good edge and it holds a good edge. They have a beautiful stone wash on here. It looks like the same type of stone wash they have on the 9, or at least on my version of the 9. The handles, it does come in 4 different colors, I believe. Blue, green, orange, and black. I have the black one, obviously. And the show side does have a steel liner. I think it's steel. A steel liner back here just to add a little bit more durability. The frame lock side, man, they do such a good job with their titanium. Like, it's the little details that matter. And the edges, the way the edges are, this micro milling is just gorgeous. And I don't know, but hopefully in the future we see different versions of this, kind of like they did with the Quiet Carry 9, where they have the micro milled version, they have plain versions. I'd love to see that. They absolutely mastered the pocket clip. I gotta give Quiet Carry credit for this, because they have absolutely mastered the deep carry milled titanium pocket clip. Not only does it look good, it is probably the best functioning pocket clip, especially as far as milled titanium pocket clips go. The best functioning clip. If I could have this clip on all my knives, I would. I absolutely would. And then also, another benefit to it is that they put the cutout for the lock spring on the inside. So, you know, when it's done on the outside, like a lot of knife companies do, it gives the clip an opportunity to catch on things, you know, going in and out of the pocket. Not with this one. This is so smooth going in and out of the pocket. You never have to worry about it bunching up or tearing the seam of your pants. It just glides right in and smoothly out, holds on nice and tight. I love their clip. Now, as far as the titanium goes, like I said, you know, it's the little details that they, you know, like the hardware, the way it looks, the way the edges are chamfered. It's done so, so well. You can see they do have a lanyard hole back here that comes out the side. As far as action goes, lock bar access, perfection. The Quiet Carry 9, same thing, man. That's one thing I raved about with the Quiet Carry 9. They did amazing lock bar access and very comfortable disengagement. And I always talk about that because to me, that's a big deal. I like a knife that's super comfortable to disengage. I don't want it sharp. I don't want to be fighting for it. I want to be able to easily get to it and it be a comfortable disengagement. And I think at this point, they're doing probably the best on that too. They do such a good job. There's other companies that do a really good job too. Anyways, whole deployment. You got the reverse flick, thumb flick. Both are super duper good. You can see it drops basically just from the weight of the blade. Yep, all the way down, because it is on bearings and it is absolutely rock solid lockup. The detent is relatively late, but since there's no flipper tab, it's easy to get past. So no problems there. They did a phenomenal job with the sharpening choil and plunge grind. So you'll get a few good sharpenings out of that. You know, I like as much as I can get, but I'm not mad at that. That's not bad, you know. Now, behind the edge thickness is 15 thousandths with their edge angle, but they do have a pretty decent edge angle. So it's not like it's a super high 30-degree angle or anything. It looks like it's about 22 degrees probably between 22 and 25 degrees per side, which is not bad for a factory edge. So, and you can always lower that back if you want to. Now, the blade geometry goes from, I think it's 110 thousandths blade stock thickness, I believe, and down to 15 thousandths. That's really good geometry. It has a nice broad blade, so a lot of distance to get down to that thickness. So this thing's gonna pass through materials really, really, really good. Not only that, the ergonomics are hand melting. This thing is so comfortable in the hand. And, you know, when you have a comfortable handle mixed with good geometry, that's what makes a good work knife or a good cutting tool. So really quick, let's go over just a couple negatives and then we'll bring up the Quiet Carry 9. So I have one negative. That's all I can come up with. And you can maybe say the lock bar, you do have to be careful not to put pressure on the lock bar because you will lock yourself out. And, you know, all you do is just touch the lock bar and that'll happen. So I don't consider that a bad thing because that's most titanium frame locks, but it's just something to be aware of. But once you acknowledge it, you're not going to lock yourself out, but you can if you put pressure on that lock bar. But that wasn't the negative. The one negative I have is I wish the hole didn't have this chamfer. Now, the chamfer looks great. It looks beautiful. It feels comfortable, but sometimes comfort isn't what you're looking for with a deployment option. Well, don't get me wrong, you want it to be somewhat comfortable. I'm not saying to make it uncomfortable, but I think a sharp edge would have done it better justice, or if they could, put some sort of texturing around this, because what happens is because of that chamfer and because of this beautiful stone wash that I absolutely love, it's very smooth. So this hole is smooth, so when you go to flick it, you know, you can slip off of it. Now, once you know it, you're not gonna slip off. You'll be just fine. You're gonna flick it out with authority, no problems. But that's just one thing that I seen that, you know, I thought could either one, just take the chamfer out and just make it a straight hole, like maybe make the hole as big as the entire diameter of the chamfer and leave the edges sharp, or just put some texturing around it, or maybe even just make this little corner sharp on both sides, you know, right where you flick from. But anyways, not that big of a deal. As far as lefties go, it's not gonna be the most lefty friendly. Like I said, the lock bar, you will lock yourself out. Now, I can do it by holding my finger back on the back side. So depending on, you know, you and the way you flick your knife, you might not like it left-handed, but the clip doesn't flip anyway, so it doesn't matter. I mean, it's mostly for righties. But if you are a lefty and you don't care about right-hand pocket clip carry, you can get by with it, but it's not going to be the best for you. It's going to be better in a right hand. Now, like I said, there's really no negatives, just a little tiny nitpick. And, you know, I stand by Quiet Carry is just knocking everything out of the park. I have yet to see something that I didn't like, or that wasn't my style, or that they just didn't execute perfectly, for the most part. So I am always excited to see what's coming from Quiet Carry next. I wish I could design a knife through them because I just love the way they execute it. So the Quiet Carry 9, I actually put this in the top 5 best knives of the year so far. So I know it's, you know, in mid 2023, but as far as from the start of 2023 till now, it got I believe it got the first place in that video. Now there was 5 different knives that made the top list, and then there were 5 budget knives, so it's 10 knives altogether. If you want to see that video, I'll put a little card up here in the corner, and it's basically just my opinion on the best knives of the year so far at the time of that video, which was a few weeks ago. So, you know I love this thing if it's already gotten that. I carried this all the Blade show. I can't get it out of the pocket. I love this knife. I absolutely love this knife, and it still could possibly be the best knife of the year. So, we'll see, you know, we'll see how it goes. So one thing I love is that they did the same thing, same clip. And like I said, I love these clips. I'd put them on every knife if I could. The way the lock bar is and the lock bar cutout is on the inside. The disengagement of the lock bar is so soft and so smooth. So they did it a little bit better on this one, but this one's super comfortable still. So not a negative whatsoever. It's just this one is extremely smooth to disengage. Same thing with this one though. This one's really, really good. But you can see the size difference. The drift is you know, quite a bit bigger, not like crazy, but you can definitely feel it in the ergos, the broadness of the blade. I do love a good drop point blade. I also love the sheep's foot style, clip point style blade. So the blade shapes are super functional for EDC purposes, but you know, you can see the size difference. So that is one thing. This one's going to be a little bit more like a basic EDC carry, while this one could be a work knife, or just an EDC carry, but you could be probably a little bit tougher on this one, or at least it feels like you could be a little bit tougher on it. As far as the 9 goes, it uses 20 CV steel, and they do have other versions with micro milling, and I'm hoping they do versions of this knife with a show scale like this. That'd be really, really cool. I'd love to see that. But their 20 CV sharpened up really, really good. Took a beautiful mirror polish, super sticky, and it's held it pretty decent. I haven't done like an edge retention test on it or anything, but you know, just as far as basic EDC goes, it's been holding it pretty good. The action is stupid good. I love the action, man. You can see it's basically a false shut action, and the detent is exactly where I want it. I don't want it any stronger. I don't want it any weaker. It is a perfect detent in my opinion. It's so comfortable holding back here. This spot right here, not only is it super comfortable for disengaging the knife, but it's also comfortable for wrapping your fingers around it. Once you put your hands around this, you're like, wow, that thing kind of melts in your hand. You can also still choke up. Now with this one, it's very, very comfortable. It's just, it's going to be a little bit larger. And you know, there is quite a few differences between the 9 and the Drift, but there's a lot of similarities too. Now, don't ask me which one I like more or which one I would pick, because I don't know yet. I need to carry this one more. I need to test it more. As far as right now goes, I love them both. I absolutely love them both. This one is a little bit more money though, $330. No, yeah, $330 for this one. This one's $295. So you do save, you know, 40 bucks, 35, 40 bucks going with this one. And, you know, it is a little bit larger, but the steel would be considered technically a downgrade, but that just depends on you, you know. So many people love LC200N, so some people might say, oh, LC200N for $295 sounds like a bit pricey. I'm not mad at it. I love LC200N, so I'm not mad at that at all. But obviously 20 CV is going to be a little bit more of an expensive steel. It's going to hold a better edge. It still has really good corrosion resistance, but nowhere near LC200N, but still really, really good. So anyways, like I said, maybe I'll pick which one I like the most, you know, after I've loved on them both, you know, equal time. Like, I've had this one for a while, so, you know, it's going to be a little bit more friendly to me. This one, you know, I recently got, so we'll see. We'll see. I just want to close this by saying that, and I already said it, Quiet Carry is just hitting home run after home run, and I am always excited to see what's coming next from them because of that. So shout out to Quiet Carry for doing an incredible job and making knives that where you honestly feel good about buying. Like, there's a lot of knives out there you spend $300 on, and in the end you're like, man, I don't know if I feel $300 here. With Quiet Carry's knives, I'm always impressed and I'm always happy. Always happy. So anyways, I'm not going to keep rambling. I will be doing a full review in the future, and it's obviously going to make it in a lot of other videos because I love it so much. So there you guys go. Until next time, peace.